surgery.
There's a lot of places that just haven't seen it.
Or maybe there's a couple of places that I was go. I'll take it. You could kind of see what your sense well, maybe the question is the refiner's fire, you know. But I no. Well, work ethic. You can't just
Yeah, you've got an amazing talent.
So how's Danny? Because he remarried and just She changed the grade. Same long Brad, that's very close. Yeah, they don't do that. Oh, yeah, brother, sister. Yeah. Oh, and there's so much over here. Yeah. This is my cousin Lily. Like I can see her. So did you end up building again? My granddaughter is great. They have halfway goes in, but the center street is developed. They bought the third gym. It's like a taste of I haven't been in darling, and she said, at least I have a home. And then she's like, and then man's in mud and something they yeah, they're all moved in and everything. So it's just one up toward like radio. Well, the ones that watch us, they were told you how her in-laws live right across the street from and we're not talking to them. Well, then they come around. My kids call me. Immaculate, but it's only good for the surgery to see. Right there. Yeah, surgery.
Will the audience please rise?
Good morning, family, friends, loved ones, brothers, sisters. I'm Bishop Russell Olson of the Leland Second Ward, and it's an honor for me to be here and to share this time with the Glazier family. I'd like to recognize on the stand with me Brother David Johnson, our second counselor. We'd also like to thank our organist, Sister Becky Clyde, and our chorister today, Lydia Beck. The family prayer was offered by Rex Galloway, and we'll begin today's services by singing hymn number 293, Each Life That Touches Ours for Good, after which the invocation will be offered by Larissa Staples.
Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful that we could be here today to be able to remember and to talk about the wonderful life of the LaDell. We ask you to please bless that the Spirit will be with us, that we can feel the comfort of knowing the time of salvation and eternal families, that we will be able to see each other again someday. We say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
The program will proceed as follows. We'll first have a musical selection by LaDell's family, I Am a Child of God. Following that, there'll be a tribute by Jean Spencer, and then the speaker, Becky Kershaw. Following Becky, there'll be a musical selection by the daughters, Joseph Smith's first prayer by Laria, Jean, Laureen, Lenny, Larissa, and Lena. Following that musical number, there'll be another speaker, Lee Glazier. Following Lee, I'll provide a few remarks. We'll go to that one.
Teach me all that I must do to live with Him someday. I am a child of God, and so my needs are great. Help me to understand His words before it grows too late. Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with Thee someday. I am a child of God, with Jesus as His soul.
Start, I want to thank my sisters, Lori and Lena, for preparing this. LaDell Orson Glazier, a Spanish lord, died peacefully in his home surrounded by his wife Janet and several children. October 10th, 2022, he was 86 years old. He was born in Heber City, November 5th, 1935, to Horace Albert Glazier and Josie Lisa Bryardy. LaDell was the oldest of five. His brother, the only living brother Lee, Austin Glazier, Pleasant Grove, and three sisters that have passed on, Gloria, Janelle, and Maureen. LaDell lived most of his youth in Provo. At age 17, he joined the military and served in the Air Force for 5 years. He served and was stationed in various locations, including the Marshall Islands during the Korean War. While stationed at the Mountain Home, Idaho Air Force Base, LaDell met Laurel and Mangum Fosnot of Idaho. They were married June 9, 1957. Their marriage was solemnized in the Salt Lake Temple in 1964. I still remember that day. Together they had 8 children: Laria, Rex, Galloway from Benjamin, LeJean, Kurt, Spencer from Richfield, Lorene, Dale Hutchings of American Fork, Lee Glazier from Delta, Lenny, Brad Shepard from Genoa, Lon, Dina Glazier from Randlet, Larissa Tyson Staples in Payson, and Lena Ryan Anderson in Payson.
LaDell and Laurel were happily married for 31 years until Laurel's death in 1988. LaDell then met, very soon, Janet B. Hendrickson, and they were married October 12, 1989. Their marriage was solemnized in the Provo Temple. They were happily married just 2 days short of 33 years before his passing. Janet added 4 more children: Robert, Pat Black, Jenny Dyring, Becky, Robert Kershaw, Sean, Lydia Black, all currently of Sandy. LaDell loved and claimed his stepchildren as his own. LaDell always said he had a dozen kids. In total, LaDell has 12 children, 57 grandchildren, 65 great-grandchildren, and 2 great-great-grandchildren. Such a legacy. Family was the most important thing to LaDell. He was very proud of and loved his family very much. I'm sorry I can't look at you all, but I'll cry if I do. LaDell was a lifelong member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He served in many callings, including as scoutmaster, high priest group leader, temple ordinance worker, and home teacher. He loved the Book of Mormon. He absolutely loved the Book of Mormon and read it many times. LaDell was a man of many talents and interests. He loved guns and gardening most of all. He enjoyed gunsmithing, reloading, shooting, and hunting. He was a master gardener and well known for his vegetable and fruit gardening skills, for his orchards, for his so many things. He loved to share his produce and share his knowledge of plants with his family. He was also a farmer, caring for his farm in Leland for nearly 50 years. He raised many cattle, goats, pigs, and chickens. LaDell was a welder for over 5 decades. He worked over the years for various businesses, including Geneva Steel, Clark Engineering, PDM, and John's Welding. He spent 20 years at his last and favorite, Barber Welding, and he adored his boss. He respected and loved working for Kent Barber. LaDell was a very gifted at building ornamental iron and many beautiful things, as you see some of the few furniture that he made for his grandkids on display, which Lenny did. Thank you, Lenny. He taught many young welders everything he knew. LaDell was preceded in death by his wife Laurel, his sisters Gloria, Janelle, and Lorraine, grandsons Sean Hutchings, Robert Glazier, a great-granddaughter Shady Puss, and son-in-law Kurt Spencer. All of that doesn't begin to say what kind of man he was. Quiet, everybody would agree, quiet, hardworking. Everything he did was for his family. He loved having a large family. He thought having 8 kids was great, but he loved having 12 even more. He loved every one of us 12 children, and each of us loved him. And that is a tremendous legacy. I think of all the hours Dad and Jan spent cracking walnuts to give each of us a gift from the heart for Christmas, and it meant so much. My dad left an inheritance of a wonderful example of never giving up, working hard when life seemed to crush us, and mostly to have gratitude for everything God had given him. Dad was so grateful for both of his wonderful wives, and he told me that over and over and over. He appreciated the simple joys in his life. His childhood was hard, and he was on his own very young, and he had to work extra hard. And he continued to learn, and he built his own simple empire with all of us, the majority of the people in this building. I'm proud of my dad. We appreciate all the lessons Utah. We appreciate his quiet strength. Dad, we have been so blessed. I think she just summed that up perfectly, and we could say amen. Which would be really great, because this is really, I'm really nervous about this. It is really hard to try to represent your family and all of the feelings, the love, and to convey that, especially to everyone here who probably knew him in many ways better than I did. So the weight of this has been heavy for me. It gets worse because in order to see my notes, I have to take my glasses off, and in order to see you, I have to put my glasses on. So we'll see how that goes. So I was asked to speak on behalf of Jan's side of the family and share some of our feelings and experiences and memories of Dad. I'm sure that there's not enough time to share all the stories and cover all the feelings. They're just too powerful. So I'll start at the beginning for me. I was 20 years old, got a phone call from Jan, from my mom. I'm getting married. I said, to who? I didn't even know you were dating. We were pretty close. And they didn't really date. I think everybody would agree they saw each other a few times and then they got married. I think they really came into a despair that they didn't know she was dating someone. I don't remember the first time I met him, but I do remember how I felt. Which was instant, total, complete, unconditional love. The first time I met him, and every time after that I was with him, and I think everybody would agree that was his greatest quality, was his unconditional love. You felt it every time you were in his presence. I never felt judged. I never felt like he needed to get to know me first to determine how he was going to feel about me. He just loved me. Darren H. Oates in 1967 recorded some memories he had of his father, who died before he was 8 years old. He wrote, quote, "The strongest impression I have of my relationship with my father, I cannot document with any event or any words I can recall. It is a feeling. Based on words and actions long since lost to my mind, this feeling persists with all the clarity of perfect faith. He loved me, and he was proud of me. This is the kind of memory a boy can treasure, and also a man." I think that summarizes what I felt from LaDell, and probably what most of us felt from him. This is something that we too can treasure and have as a feeling for the rest of our lives. When I spoke to my brother and sister, their families, their message was the same. It was that they knew that Grandpa or Dad loved them. My sister Jenny and her family lived back east, and every time they came to visit in Utah, one of the highlights was going to visit Grandma and Grandpa Glazier. They loved shooting guns with him, eating food from the garden, and felt of his love. Jenny shared a story that they came out one Easter, and it was the only Easter they ever got to come out. And I don't know if you'll hear about this from the Glaziers, but they have this family tradition on Easter. I don't want to necessarily share their history and their stories, but they like to color Easter eggs and then shoot them. If you're not familiar with that, at first it sounds a little strange to do on Easter, and Jenny and her family went out and they threw Easter eggs in the air and shot Easter eggs. And after that, I think that they bought him, I can't remember, I was going to ask what it's called, like a clay shooting thing. Love coming and doing that with him. When I spoke to my older brother Robert, and Pat shared a very tender story about Mom and LaDell going to Pat's funeral. And LaDell, in his very simple, I have to read what unspoken calm, that's how Pat described it, unspoken calm, which I think is a good way to describe him. He leaned over to her and he says, "You'll always have me."
just letting her know that she still had a dad here that loved her and would be there for her. And then he always encouraged her to go to the temple. Her dad had encouraged her too, but for some reason when LaDell encouraged her, it was just what she needed to go and to get to the temple. And it was his way of saying that you're wanted, we want you forever. So go to the temple so you can be with us. Just last night, my Uncle Bob, which is Jan's youngest brother, told me about how much his family loved to go and visit LaDell, and that he made everyone in his family feel welcome and accepted and loved. My uncle shared how much they loved going to visit, and talked about how much LaDell had changed Jan. I think that we would all agree that Jan changed LaDell too. They were a great example of two people that cared deeply about each other and help each other to become more like their Savior. Besides his Christ-like love, LaDell had a lot of other incredible qualities, including hardworking. I don't think any of us know anybody that worked harder than LaDell. I just don't think it's possible. He worked tirelessly to help provide for his children and grandchildren. For us, most of the time that meant food from the garden, which brings us to another great quality and one of my family's favorites. He was an incredible farmer and gardener. I'm sorry for this. My family loved tomato season. There was no question. We ate tomatoes every way you could eat tomatoes, fresh tomatoes and homemade spaghetti sauce, fresh tomatoes and homemade salsa, more tomato sandwiches and BLTs than we could count. And they, to this day, will tell people that never had the opportunity to have a tomato grown by LaDell, they've never had a good tomato. And I would dare say that's true. LaDell worked hard, but he also enjoyed his hobbies, and he loved sharing those with his families and friends. I'm sure you've gathered he loved guns. He collected them, he had a bunch of them. I honestly thought I was going after Lee, so I thought he was going to tell you all these things, and I could just step in behind, so just follow up on those. But he collected and loved shooting guns. My younger brother Sean and his wife Lydia went to visit once, and it was about a week after Easter, and they had some leftover Easter eggs. And I hope I get this right, but so they were going to go out and shoot them. And Lydia didn't know how she felt about guns on Easter, and thought that dare say she was a little uncomfortable with the idea. And when they were all done, she looked at LaDell and said, "Yeah, 2 dozen eggs isn't enough." And I just really loved that. And I can just hear him chuckling, that LaDell chuckle that he had, that I hope I never forget, because it was my favorite thing about him. He would say these, what our family calls LaDellisms, and they were funny little quotes or sayings. Most of them I can't say in church, so I won't. But we love them, and after he would say one, he'd always have that little chuckle. Chuckle in his. I can't do it like him, but I will always cherish that. A couple of them that Jenny reminded me of, you'd be sitting there talking and had work to do, and you'd like, well, daylight's a burning, and up you go off that night when you're going to work. And if you happen to be sitting in a room and the sun went down and it got dark, you'd walk in and say, well, what are we doing, growing mushrooms in here? Because it wasn't bright enough, there wasn't a light on. I tried to get everybody to tell me more of them, but we couldn't think of any that would be appropriate to say. So, I think you all know what they are. One Kate Parker said, at times of sorrow and parting, one may experience that peace which passeth all understanding, which the scriptures promise in Philippians 4:7. That is a very private experience. Many have come to marvel in their hearts that such a feeling of peace, even exaltation, can come at the time of such grief and uncertainty. Well, I will miss Dad more than I can express. I feel at peace, knowing that he is free from fear and reunited with his loved ones. I'm thankful for that. A friend in our ward said this. He lost a daughter. Another person in our ward lost her father. When she did, he posted this on her Facebook page, and it just hit me so much. I thought it was so beautiful. He said, the hurt will soften, the memories will strengthen. He's happier than ever. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not here. I do not sleep. That's I know and testify that the hurt will soften and the memories will strengthen. I believe he's in a happier place and happier than ever. I have no doubt that he's not sleeping. He's off playing in a garden, sharing his Christ-like love with those on the other side of the veil. And I am thankful to know that one day I will be with him again. Lord Kate Packer said death is a mechanism of rescue. I'm thankful that Dad has been rescued from his mortal pain and suffering. I'm thankful to know that my Heavenly Father lives and that Jesus Christ lives, and that we will all be together as a family again. I'm thankful for Dad's simple but powerful example of Christ-like love. One thing that I think was so powerful with him was everybody, we talked about how quiet he was, but he also wasn't afraid to say what he felt. And if he believed something was true, he told you. And he didn't tell you in a way that he felt judged or criticized. He just said matter-of-factly, I think much like the Savior does. He loved, but he still expressed what was right. My family was talking about a movie that I wasn't allowed to watch as a little girl. And my kids liked it. It's kind of a musical, and they liked the music, just didn't know what the words meant. LaDell just, he hadn't said anything this whole conversation. He piped up, porn then, it's porn now. And he was right. And he just was right about everything like that. And he just wasn't afraid to tell you what was right and what was wrong. And I love that about him. It's my prayer that we will all remember his example and strive to be like him. That we will give unconditional love, forgive others, work hard, and find people joy in our lives. I think I must have skipped that paragraph because I talked about how forgiving, or I wanted to talk about how forgiving he is and was. He was able to forgive others and not hold grudges. He just went on with life and worked hard and did what he needed to do to love everyone around him. That was another great quality of his. Pray that all of us can carry his spirit with us and all of us can learn to love and work hard and do all the things that he did. And I'm grateful for his example and his love. And I say this in the name of Jesus Christ. This was our dad's only request for his service, so we'll do our very best.
Lovely was the morning, radiant the sun above. These were humming, sweet birds singing,
Good, somebody let me talk. Oh my. I'll pretty much read this. LaDell, Forrest, and Glazier, what a man. And a legend to his posterity. Whenever anyone asks me who my favorite superhero is, I would answer back immediately, my dad. My siblings have all commented on how much Dad loved shooting, reloading, gunsmithing, hunting, gardening, and fishing. Dad taught us all how to respect and care for firearms. He taught us how to shoot, and we all passed under safety, so which enabled us to go hunting with Dad. I would like to share a few memories that my siblings and I have of Dad. Talking about hunting, Lon remembers that when it got close to deer hunt, Dad would say, "If you boys want to go hunting, we need to get this garden put up." We didn't realize at the time that Dad would have gone hunting regardless. It was just his way to get us motivated to help. Laurie also remembers that we had to get the table dug up before we go hunting, so it wasn't just us, he used that ruse on. One particular deer hunt that Dad, Lon, and I went on, we hiked up Base Canyon and was hunting the area up there. I went ahead of Dad and Lon down a draw to see if I could push out anything for them to see. Sure enough, I pushed the buck up the other side. I didn't know it until I heard those two start shooting at it. Dad said he took a shot when the deer was in midair jumping. After it went down, they never saw it again. So they guided me into where it was last seen, and sure enough, there it lay. While I was gone getting the deer cart down the truck, Dad and Lon started dragging the deer down. Lon told me that Dad had said he thought Lon had shot it. Lon figured Dad was just making him feel really good, and that's just the kind of dad he was. You know darn well you didn't shoot it, but he told you you did. He pulled that one on me. Just asked the deer, and he said, "Well, see, Lon, we all know how good a shot Dad was, and you can just ask the deer that he shot up Whole Canyon that was somewhere over 600 yards away with these 30-06 using a 4 or 6 power scope. It was at the top of the mountain. Meanwhile, all the rest of his brother, his kids, whatever, went up and got it for him, drag it down. I was in a crowning moment of his and his hunting life, and he hung that one that was hung in the living room or in the kitchen in our old house. As you go into the living room for quite some time, and he was downstairs at the new house. But now you want to talk about shooting? That was a good shot. How about, I've always thought I'm a pretty good shot, but that is without a doubt the best. I've never shot 10 rounds consecutively, and the target the size of a quarter was 22, let alone 50 times. As we've got on our shirt, you see on the table out there, and his target, they actually shot that 50 rounds, 50 bullseyes. Try that out. Now, Lorene recalls that one year, this will kind of tie into the egg story, that Jane and her family had invited her down to her house for Easter weekend when Dell was gone working. And she would have to be alone. And Mom and Dad had went with them. They were going down that weekend as well. And they started the tradition of doing Easter together, where they would color eggs on Friday. The Easter bunny hid the eggs, and the kids would find them on Saturday morning, and they'd all head out for a picnic and climb a hill and roll the eggs down it. Then spend the day riding ATVs and shooting guns. What a thought. Well, one year, early on, Lorena had recently had her knee scoped and just couldn't climb the hill. So she returned to camp, and while waiting for everyone to return, she lined her eggs up on bushes and such. And as everyone came back, they started shooting guns. And it was then they realized just how much fun it is to watch them eggs blow up, which started another tradition. Eggs. I didn't ever go up with Jane and do it there, but me and my kids had blown up a bunch of eggs. First time Emily shot my 22-250, she sat and watched an egg obliterate. 22's kind of pop them, but at 22-250 you don't find anything less. And so she says, I like this gun, you just keep mine. I'm shooting this the rest of the day. And so and while they were down there, usually on the Easter weekends, Dad would always have some kind of new neat gun to show them, and they'd all shoot it that Easter. Or thought he'd have some words in that to teach everybody to be a better marksman. It's always there for people, always trying to help people, and always making everybody a little better. And Larissa recalls doing a lot of target practice with Dad. And Laurie remembers throwing a lot of tin cans in the air so that he can practice for the pheasant hunt. Lon remembers another memory of a time when after we put the new carpet in the house, in the living room, before we moved all the furniture in, Dad put a box against the wall, and we were shooting our BB guns at our new target range. Long shot 3 times and didn't hit the target at all. But Dad saw the curtain moving, and so we went over and checked it out. And sure enough, there's 3 BB holes in the window. Good grouping. The holes got covered up in tape, and Dad said he couldn't get mad at them because he puts the gun range up for us to shoot. And I believe that the house probably got tore down with those holes still in the window. Windows are a little expensive to buy, and they were covered up, so they're teenager. I have some memories to share of Dad's character and the type of family man he was. Lorraine shared that when Dad and Dell were dating, Dad had stopped smoking, so when they got engaged and planning on their temple wedding, Dad's bishop told him he could go to the temple with them. Dad had put before when Laurie got married. It started again by the time that Jean got married. He went to Lorraine and LaDell, and he told them he could go through with them. He asked if he didn't, because he wanted to make sure he had really put for good before he made covenants and promises with the Lord again. That was 42 years ago, and he's never touched a cigarette again. However, he has gone through the temple many times with Lorraine since then. One very special time was when he asked her to be proxy for his baby sister, Lorraine, who she was named after. Lorraine wanted to share another special memory of Dad of a time when she was 12, 14, somewhere in there, and she wanted her ears pierced. Everyone had their ears pierced, she said. And even my friend Farrah, she tried to convince Dad. Dad told her, you don't need to wait till you're 16. She got mad and said, you just don't love me, and ran into her bedroom. Dad went in a minute later, sat down on the floor by her bed, and he looked at her and he says, it's because I love you that I want you to wait to put holes in your ear until you are old enough to make sure that's what you want to do. She knew right then and there, at that moment, that Dad loved her. Dad taught us the value of honest, hard work, which has been a very good trait to have. He often told us at the time he had a job sweeping floors. And he said, even though I only sweep floors, I want to be the best floor sweeper there ever was. And that pride in himself and his work showed wherever he went. From different welding shops to his garden, it showed. Dad taught me a lot of things in life, especially the blessing of having a family and the honor that it is to provide, teach, and support my own family. One thing that I don't understand is why did Dad think all of us kids had a pair of grandma's pink panties and he always wanted us to go put them on? And he'd tell us this in a song. Why stop? Well, if you want to go there, then, we must have some aunt that I have never met or known, but he always wanted us to deliver her a message about her goose being dead. I think her name was Rhodey. So, I love playing checkers with Dad, and our favorite was throwing horseshoes. Dad loved playing horseshoes, and he was absolutely the king of pull my finger. I loved welding and fabricating with Dad. That was Dad's art. Knowing what rod, what temperature he needed for each weld he made, it was truly a joy to watch. Larissa told me a time when she got a real bad sunburn. She was a teenager and the pain was so bad, she couldn't sleep. Finally, she went and woke Dad up and asked him for a blessing. Dad gave her a blessing, and then afterwards, she apologized for having woke him up in the middle of the night. Without a blink of an eye, Dad said, "It's my honor to be able to give you a blessing, and I'm glad I can do that." And she just, the feeling of knowing that your dad loves you and he's there for us, and that's why he was always there for us. Everything he did in his life was for his family. Now, Larissa also tells me of a memory when Dad and Lena and she were getting ready to go fishing. He told them to go dig some worms from under the pear trees. But anyway, the girls didn't want to touch those icky worms. And so they found some corn cobs and were picking the worms up with them. Dad came out to check their progress and seeing what they were doing, he started busting up so bad he couldn't hardly stand up. Trying to get those worms. So, now I do have a few more Dad's most notable sayings that I can say. I got a list of them, I can't. I went to my sister's and I said, "You got anything you can say that Dad would say?" Now I got a bunch more. So, one you really like to tell me was it'll feel better when it quits hurting. I hated that. Of course it will feel better. Now you have to tell me. The illegal's a sick bird until you get caught. Say that a few times. But then, I counted that one. They always said, if you always tell the truth, you never have to remember what you said. And that's more of a lesson in life that of the things you'd say that was real solid. Instead of wishing one hand, crapping the other, see which gets full first. Every time you go asking for something, that's what I tell you. Just go wish for it. And then I wonder, really now, what am I supposed to do with all them raffle tickets you kept wanting me to buy so I could win that tractor and pull my head out? Shoot for sale for you. But Laurie had commented that we pretty much grew up on venison. And then I was thinking after I'd read that one, and I said, well, if all we did was eat venison, what happened to them hundreds, maybe thousands of chickens that I strung up that crab tree and cut up for Mom to put in bottles in the freezer and eat? And I think we ate a little bit more. We ate chicken too. And Dell commented about how amazing it was that Dad had a tree that he grafted so many apples on, different types of apples onto that tree, and then started calling it the tree of life. And that was about a great representation of Dad, that that everything becomes a whole. And he was a solid tree of life for us. And then didn't have say a lot of fishing stories, but we had some good fishing trips, and a lot of times we'd just go out to Utah Lake and fish off the bank and catch those great crappie fish. But we had a lot of fun time together. I know that teaching us the value of hard work. A lot of times we get so wrapped in the work of the garden and the yard, and sometimes they just come up and say, hey, finish up what you're doing right there, and then let's go shooting. And try to remind us that we need to have some fun too. I love my dad, my mentor, my hero, and I'm glad that he now feels no more pain. And I say this in the message of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Brothers and sisters, we express our appreciation to the family and friends who've spoken and shared their memories with us today. And it's an honor for me to have been asked to just give a couple of remarks. I've known Janet and LaDell for about 27 years when I moved into the Leyland Fort back in 1998. And I always knew that LaDell was a good man. That he worked hard, and that he was talented, and that he had those skills that have been spoken of today. But soon after I became bishop, I had a special opportunity to have an interaction with LaDell, wherein he shared with me some of the struggles that he had throughout his life and how he overcame those struggles. And it was then that I really learned that LaDell Glazier was not just a good man, but he was a great man. He is a great man. It's times like these that are bittersweet in our lives. It's bitter that we'll miss him. And that his passing is difficult, but it's sweet in knowing that he still lives. It's sweet in knowing that he is with his loved ones and the people that have passed on before. And it's sweet in knowing that he can continue his eternal journey, having passed through the trials that he was called to bear here on earth. And it's sweet in knowing that we will see him again. The remainder of my remarks have the sole purpose of providing some peace and comfort to anybody who's struggling at this time. From the missionary manual, Preach My Gospel, we learn the following about the plan of salvation. Our message helps us understand the purpose of life and who we are. It gives us hope and helps us find peace, joy, and happiness. It tells us where we came from, why we are here on earth, and where we will go after this life. God is our Father, and He loves us. We are His children. We are part of His family, and we lived with Him before we were born on this earth. He has a plan of happiness that makes it possible for us to return to His presence after this life. Our progress depends on how we use our God-given agency. As part of that plan, the fall of Adam made it possible for us to come to earth, gain a physical body, have experience, and have families of our own. But the fall also brought physical death, which is the separation of the spirit from the body, and spiritual death, which is separation from God. Jesus Christ is central to God's plan. Christ's atoning sacrifice overcame the effects of both physical and spiritual death. We will all be resurrected, and we will live forever with physical bodies free of pain and sickness. As part of God's merciful plan, we will all suffer a physical death. Our spirits will be separated from our bodies and will live for a time in the spirit world. We will then be resurrected with an immortal body, an eternal union of our body and spirit. In Alma 40:23 we read, "The soul shall be restored to the body, and the body to the soul, yea, and every limb and joint shall be restored to its body. Yea, even a hair of the head shall not be lost, but all things shall be restored to their proper and perfect frame." Unquote. As we struggle with the sadness and difficulty of the passing of a loved one, these words of Alma can provide some degree of hope and peace. Peace for knowing that our loved ones are no longer in pain and suffering from the ailments that come along with this physical body, and hope in the knowledge that this same gift of resurrection is provided to all of us, and that one day we will all be reunited with those who passed on before us with a perfect body, never to die again. May we remember with fondness the sweet and precious memories we each have with this great family. May our Father in heaven pour out blessings of peace and comfort to this great family. I bear you the testimony of the reality of the plan of salvation. I testify that we have a loving Heavenly Father who wants more than anything to have us return to Him. And this I do in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. We'll close by singing hymn number 152, "God Be With You Till We Meet Again," after which the benediction will be offered by Long Glazier.
Till we meet again.
we ask you to be with us as we go home, go back to our, where we need to go, that we can all do so in safety. We ask for a special blessing over the family, that they can be comforted with the peace that LaDell is in heaven with loved ones, and that we will be with him again one day. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Brothers and sisters, interment will be at the Spanish Fort Cemetery. The pallbearers are Nathan Galloway, Corey Galloway, Bryce Galloway, Jason Spencer, Stephen Glazier, Jonathan Hutchings, Chase Shepherd, Wyatt Glazier, Chance Passy, and Lane Passy. And honorary pallbearers are Tanner Black, Jeremy Black, Jonathan Dyring, Michael Kershaw, Zane Black, Sharon Black, Davin Black, and Ulrich Black. The dedicatory prayer will be offered by Dale Hutchings. Following the cemetery, the Relief Society of the Leland Second Ward has prepared luncheon for the family, and you're invited to come back here and partake of that. If we could have the pallbearers please exit to the east of this door at this time, and we could please have the audience rise.